All right, guys, welcome to day 2 of the Colorado swap. If you haven't checked out the LHT store, go ahead. We are stocked up with LHT merch, shirts, NS2000 parts, some of the stuff that you might need. We have hoodies for you guys that are dealing with the cold weather, and t-shirts for the guys like us living in Florida. So transmission this way is like 7,000 pounds, so we need to actually put this on the floor so it's not just hanging out from yesterday. That S2000 is finished. Sean is coming to do the detail. That's why he's sitting in this shop. He's doing the detail on that tomorrow, but that is essentially finished. The customer can pick that up, or it's going to go back in storage if you haven't seen that video. So where we left this off yesterday is the motor is sitting here on essentially 2 bolts right here. One of them on this side is loose, and then we should be able to come up forward and get this sucker out. We have so much more room now. The radiator's out the way, and we'll see what we've got, and we're gonna find out actually how deep we are into this whole thing. Hopefully, can we reach back there with my ginormous arms? Hopefully once the manifolds are off on that motor, we'll see if that motor is going to fit in with the factory manifolds, or if we're going to have to build something.
I want to start doing stuff.
Yeah, well, this could be for the brochure where you just use a random wrench to take something off that doesn't need taken off.
Yeah.
I just want to get in there and do something.
Just do something, just take a bolt out. Let's see.
I'm sure everyone's seen it. My favorite picture is a girl sitting on the engine bay with a crescent wrench on a radiator hose.
Or the girl holding the soldering iron from the hot side while she's soldering.
Yeah.
And you
so
go, that
rude.
can't be.
That is so rude.
I know, it really
You know,
is.
it was just Women's Day the other day.
I know.
Well, that's for us.
Well, that's it's for us to respect women.
That's right. Oh, well.
When was the last time you saw me take a brand new, perfectly good vehicle and take the perfectly good engine out and put an engine in?
It wasn't that long ago.
It doesn't seem. It seems like it's happened way too many times, doesn't it?
This has got a lot of miles on it for you, though.
This actually is. George said that this is probably one of the higher. But you put that in there, it's gonna look.
Oh, jeez.
Come on.
You can put a ring on his coffee cup.
Is this like your first day? Get that
come
out of
on.
here. I know, but come on.
You might. Okay,
Really,
fine.
coffee cup on a car? Come on, this isn't your coffee table.
I
Hey.
wanted to get to work.
Yes. Well, first thing, dump
Okay, wait a
that
second,
coffee.
Freddie.
Yeah.
Going up, yeah?
I think so.
The oil pin and the frame horn are kind of in contact right now, so I can't go this way too much.
I've got room here. I've got it.
Once
I'm
you go up
against the
another
oil
inch,
filter.
it'll come over another inch.
Okay. I'm up against my oil filter.
Alright, now you can push my way if you need to.
I'm fine when just come straight up. Actually, let's come forward to get away from a cow.
Yep.
That good?
Yep.
We don't want to pull it too much, because as soon as the pin comes past that
Hey,
string
hold
rack,
on, I
it's going to
got,
swing.
what does this do? Is that the,
Is it connected?
that's the booster.
Booster.
There is,
Is it that line I've disconnected? Is it
yeah,
hooked
there's
onto
one.
something?
There's one here.
Ooh, look at that.
Close back here. A bunch of connectors and shit. All right.
Go again?
Yeah, keep that up. Keep an eye on the front.
Yeah, we're super tight in front.
This right here.
That one's alright.
That one's okay. We'll keep going. We're still good. We're coming out to the truck converter about an inch. And then we should be able to come forward. That can't fully let us. Hold on.
The lines are fine now. We just need to watch the other stuff.
Did I lower the car on top of it? Hold on.
I don't know.
No.
Okay.
I was going to say that was
Yeah, so hopefully needs to pull it in a little bit. It won't go in anymore. You might have lowered it to where it won't go in anymore.
Let me come up a little bit so we get the.
I was going to say it's not moving.
That's
There we
good.
go. Yeah, because it should have moved a little bit easier. I'm like yanking on it.
Okay, just control the engine.
That was your board.
Broke the
Whoops.
wall.
That needs to go in a little bit.
It's gotta be up against something under the car.
If you want some more, ready?
Yeah.
That is a big motor for a V6 in it. Look how wide it is.
is.
I'm wondering if that is actually wider than the V8. Yeah, because the head is all the way over to here, but that manifold being offset too. The manifold is weird, but you see how wide the heads are. This is actually bigger than you realize. Hopefully we'll have more room in there with the bigger motor.
I think it'll at least look like we have more room because everything will be
Yeah, because
centered.
look at the size of that. You could put two S2000 motors side by side.
Don't give them any ideas.
No, somebody's going to go K24. That's the thing. Making horsepower is one thing. Making low down torque is what you need to move big, heavy objects like this thing. Obviously, Hondas are a whole lot lighter than this thing. This thing probably weighs 5,000 pounds. So to move 5,000 pounds, you don't need 500 horsepower. You need torque, and low down torque. If not, it'll be a turd. So, all right, there it is. So we should essentially take the manifolds off our motor, drop it in, put the factory mounts on here, and then hook them to the current performance brackets, and hopefully it works, right?
And
Fingers
then we can
crossed.
drive it.
Yeah, and then we'll pop it in.
Yeah.
That is the V6, and this is the V8. I mean, this actually looks narrower. I want to go get a tape measure just to kind of get an idea. Obviously, the manifolds stick out a little bit, and again, I'm kind of hoping that they will work. This one tucks in pretty tight. This one sticks out. So I'm hoping that the steering shaft will fit by this. It's kind of hard to tell. But, I mean, this one looks enormous. Kind of hoping that it will fit. So look how cool this is. Oil filter is right there, exactly where you would expect it. If you want to drain the oil, it would come out. This one is that goofy canister that you got to work on from the top of the car. Take the stupid plastic thing off. It's got a car. It's like the worst place ever for an oil filter. Again, the engineer doesn't work on it, so he doesn't care. He just designs it so that's where you want it. So this isn't really scientific, but if I was just to kind of eyeball it there and come out to here, we're about, I don't know, like 27-ish inches. I mean, again, we're not trying to get it. I mean, this one kind of comes out to about 23. So with that quick rough calculation using my thermometer here, that should fit. So this is what we found. This is the factory bolt. You got to cut this down about ½ an inch because it bottoms out. This plate is a little bit thinner than the cast piece, which is you can kind of see it right there. So that needs to be cut down a little bit. And what we did is use some shim washers here so this can be adjusted. It's got the slots in it, and if you don't put the washers in, that actually rubs against there ever so slightly. It might not be a big deal. You might be able to shave that tab or shave the head of the bolt. This is just what we wanted to do, so we're not shaving anything, and we have the adjustment right here. So the exhaust manifold we did remove. We do have plans of keeping this. Worst case, we can always do headers. I don't really want to. I want to keep this as an OEM build as possible. This is the cast manifolds. And if you've ever done anything with this, you actually realize that manifolds are a lot better than people realize. These are probably not the best. They're not as good as the LS7 or even the newer LT4, which actually work really well. But you'd be surprised, and you might put a set of headers on this thing and pick up 10 horsepower, but then you deal with all the headaches of headers, which often isn't worth it. Worst case, we can, if this fits, we have the flange from our Y-pipe, which is over there. We can change and kind of kick this in if it doesn't fit, but really hoping that when this goes in, the manifold is tight enough against the block, the steering arm will clear it. I mean, fingers crossed, that would save us a lot of headache. So we're going to see this same time as what you are. I know Jared has done one of these. We helped him build a turbo kit for one of his. I think we actually built a turbo kit and swung the manifolds. He had turbo, actually he had headers, didn't he, George? Did he supply headers or manifolds? We just flipped them backwards.
Yeah, there was I think a manifold on the passenger side and we modified an exhaust manifold on the passenger side and we left the stock manifold on the driver's side.
And then just looped it around.
And piped over.
Got it, okay.
So the only one that was flipped was the passenger side one.
Yeah, which these are, I see these bolts are in line. This is the one that's off, so if you was to flip it, you'd have to re-drill this hole right here. The other ones are kind of in line, so we'll see. Let's get it going. There is Loctite that they use on those, which is bizarre. I mean, they had problems with bolts backing out on brackets. It's kind of weird. If we need stuff off your truck to finish this, can we take it apart?
Yeah.
It's the same motor.
LS1, yeah, we'll take it apart. Yeah.
Yeah, just in case.
We only have an hour.
Yeah.
I have to be on lunch, and I'll just leave the truck and come back and be like,
Or I'll give you a vehicle so you can carry on and just do the next hour's worth of
I
stuff.
don't know what happened. I'm missing a motor.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I parked it and came back. There's no motor in it.
They were good.
Look how big it is when the motor's out.
Yeah, when you put that Honda in there, you have all kind of room.
I know. I think we would.
I still think you should put it in the bed.
I know. It would be.
Volkswagen style. Make this the trunk.
Yeah. This would be a big trunk too.
Be nice.
Put all kinds of stuff back here.
Yeah.
No dog.
No dog?
No, Don. But I haven't seen you in forever. So
I know the
I'm
car.
not
The
sure.
car's too new for the dog. I hear.
The dog's gonna wreck it.
She needs
Put like
to-
her in like a
she
hair
needs to
sock that
sanitize.
like
Yeah,
just comes
like a
around
big
her
bag
neck,
with just a head sticking out, and you zip it up, and it's just a head.
and
And
then
then,
you're good.
and then when you get here, you just
You
let her out.
Have like a vacuum port, just go, and then just pull her out. And hopefully, not a lot of hair will go anywhere.
All right, so we've had the motor in here, half in a couple of times. It's so tight between here and here. We've had to take more parts off. We just took the plastic cowl off, which gained us about 3/4 of an inch. And also took the flex plate off the motor, which even though it's not a lot, took probably about 1/2 inch off total. But we tried it straight, obviously forward and back, and then we even tried to get it sideways to lower it down and tilt it. It wasn't gonna happen. It's tight, it's all over everything. So we're gonna see if it'll work now. We didn't film it because of course all hands on deck trying to get it in there, but worst case, this is all sheet metal stuff and it comes off fairly easy. We just took the AC lines off the firewall, but this will unbolt this tray right here. Looks like it holds the wiper motor all in one go. We unplugged the wiper motor, then we would have room for days. But if it fits without it, this stuff is sheet metal. As long as we don't damage this, the plastic goes over it. You're not going to see it, but obviously we don't want to damage this at all. You can see where it's got a piece there where we lowered the motor, but look how thin it is. So it's extremely tight. But now we've gained probably a total of what, 1/2 inch, 3/4 of an inch by taking things apart. Crank pulley could come off, but we don't have our crank pulley tool here. We loaned it out to somebody, but that would gain us some room. But the water pump snout sticks out more than the crank pulley, but it would give us a little bit of wiggle room. So we'll see. What does that do?
It's our extra AC plug.
Oh, that's right. Okay, I just saw it hanging out. Like, don't recognize that. So yeah, we have an AC plug on each side. I put it on both sides just in case this has to go over here. So he's thinking ahead. We did have to take the motor mount out too because it got in the way of everything. So we have this motor mount on.
I just put that one back on because now we're going in straight. It
Oh,
shouldn't
yeah.
be in the way.
Yeah, we took it off to put the motor in sideways like it would be a front wheel drive, and that was obviously all over the core support. So all right, round two. Clear? You got it?
Yep.
So that's interesting. It's like semi-glued on there. This is just the carpeting. And it's that really, it's like a foam glue. It's not silicone. Can you grab that part too? So you see it's almost like sponge. It's not even a double side. It's just like for noise, I think, but that's where it bolts in. So maybe we'll put just some double-sided foam here, but
Jeez.
yeah, look at the room now. That thing was half covering
Yeah.
the master. I mean, it came up to that bump
Yeah.
right here.
Then we put a 2J in here now.
Yeah. All right. So that's, I won't say it yet, but that's the trick to getting the motor in, is just to take all of that stuff off. Now the motor should plop in. could get a bolt in it.
Do you want me to run the thing while you guys over here do that?
No, because the up and down is really temperamental.
Oh, gotcha.
How far are you off?
It looks like it's actually kind of close.
Are you hitting something?
It's hitting the mount.
Okay.
It's just not lined up with the bolt hole right this second.
Now we have some clearance issues. We're gonna go up. It's in there, sitting on the mounts. It's got 2 bolts, or 1 bolt on this side, and it's just sitting on that side, but we're pretty confident that it shouldn't move anywhere. We're gonna go up and kind of have a look around. It is contacting the pan, which is my biggest concern right now, but we'll see. We're gonna go up in the air and kind of get an idea, and we'll see how far away we are. So this is what we are looking at from the back side. Passenger side manifold has room. Driver side, we don't know if it goes by that steering column. We have to get some measurements. That might be doable. This area here is obviously contacted, sitting on the oil filter right now, or it's close. It's not on it, but there's not a whole lot of room here. But it's completely sitting on the front of the pan right here on that rack. It's on there. That's preventing the motor from going down. It's not far from going down. There is a bit of an air gap here, and the same on this side, but the motor obviously needs to be able to lean. So I don't know if there is enough room in that pan, if that pan can be taken apart and cut. I don't know what's behind that, how much room. There is this bulge right here. If the pan was this high, I can get my finger in there. I don't know if that would fit or not. But the AC, which was the one place that everybody had concerns, I should see there's room for accessories. That's not a problem. But it looks like modifying the pan. I mean, this has room around here. I don't know, without taking that pan off and seeing what's behind it, see if we can cut it down. I don't know if there is something in here, if the pickup goes through the pan right there or not for the oil pump.
Yeah, it comes from the front to the back, but I don't know how high it is in there.
Yeah, without taking it off. I mean, that's the only thing we do, is to take it off, take the pan off and look what's behind it, because without that, there's no going forward. So we're looking at this Holley LT Retro pan fit right here. This has a ton of room, but nobody has it. All of our suppliers don't have it. Holley are back ordered on it, but you can see actually how skinny this is through here. I mean, this would work, but they don't have it. All right, so with no options, I think we're gonna pull the motor out, pull that oil pan, and basically see what is behind there. This part here we can make fit, or we can remake this cross member, adjust this cross member for this. That's not a big deal. It's just this right here. So we're gonna have to look to see what's behind there. There's probably a windage tray, and whether the oil pickup is running through there or not. But if we could take it up to this surface right here where my finger is, if we could get it level with that to at least, you know, here, we make it work. So motor's got to come out, take the pan off and take a look, see what's behind it, see if we can make something work, because without that we're stuck. We can't go any further. And if nobody has that pan, you see what that is right there, nobody has that pan, we can't do a thing. Up a little bit more. There we go. So this is what the oil pan looks like. Look how beefy this sucker is. That's what the crank looks like. There's not a whole lot of room below that surface. So this guy here is our limiting factor. That's obviously just supporting that. That's just supporting that. So if we leave this in the same spot,
I mean, that's not getting us a lot of room.
no. Well, this would have clearance if it was this height. This is where it touches. So this is the measurement we have come up with. This should give us ample clearance for this pickup. What we're going to do on here, the pickup tube that has to be over here by, you saw the shape how it did this. What we're going to do is rotate that up and get it off the floor and get it closer to this. Long as once that's in, we can put the windage tray. The windage tray bolts to here as opposed to the block. So as long as it fits under that windage tray, we're good. And then we're going to extend this end to put the oil pickup down in the bottom of the pan where it needs to be. We'll keep that distance, but by cutting this off, if we can cut that perfectly straight, we can put a flat piece of plate in there. If a flat piece of plate there, it'll look the business, and of course make it fit, which is more important. This is how much we took off here, and this is out of the way of everything. This is that tube we talked about. We wanted to stay clear of it. That's where the pickup tube goes through. This piece here is kind of just sitting there suspended right now. This is where the windage tray will bolt right here. This is more that we needed, but obviously we want more room than less, so we don't have to cut it twice. But this windage tray goes in somewhere around here.
All the way back.
Oh, there we go. So that picks up that bolt hole there, which is just the support. So based on that,
One wasn't even being used.
yeah, why did they put that in? Yeah, take that guy off.
Doink.
There we go, take that home. We could build a little base for that if need be. I don't think it really
That's
needs
something,
it.
if we put our flat plate, we'll just tack weld the sides of it and bolt it back.
Yeah,
But we'll have to cut the bolt down because that boss isn't very thick anymore.
I don't know.
Oh no, that one's actually pretty
Yeah,
decent.
that one's decent.
I was still thinking about the useless one here on the
Yeah,
end.
that one didn't have much to it. But yeah, we can actually tack weld that to our plate just to put some support here. But now we have all kinds of room. So that's a pretty straightforward build right there. We don't have any plate. Actually, oh, do we? We have some 1/8 inch, don't we?
We have some smaller stuff. We don't have anything very thick.
Probably need something thicker than that to help support it, don't we? This
Whatever
needs to be
that
a little
pan
bit
is, which isn't too thick, maybe
3/16.
yeah, like maybe a little
It's
over
nice,
1/8.
nice and consistent though. Look how
Yeah,
nice
it
the
is.
casting
Very
is.
consistent.
Wow, that's some good casting. So we'll measure this, get some plate, weld that in, put that back, figure out the configuration of this that we was talking about. So this, I'm not gonna mess with it too much, so I don't want to get it dirty.
I'm gonna wash my hands.
Yeah, let's say I'm old. But this presses in here, it just kind of pushes in there. That's what the other bolt did.
Yeah, that's what it was.
Okay, so we need, we wouldn't build it onto our aluminum, but what we're talking about doing is rotating this.
Well, if that goes there, now we can look at the bottom and see how much it actually would have come through. So it's like halfway through it. So we'll have to rotate her up probably that far. And
And
then it'll be
then-
flat.
Let's see if the windage tray is going to fit with that. If not, we're going to have to tweak the windage tray.
I think we'll be cutting that.
The windage tray?
Yeah.
Yeah, it sits on it.
So we're also gonna have to put this on the motor when we check this too. We don't want to run into the crank, of course. So we'll have to build everything around everything else.
As long as we use this as our point, we can always cut some of this out. Cut this channel here. As long as we don't come above this, we know this doesn't hit the crank. So,
Yeah, exactly.
well, we don't need to go up that high. As long as we clear the aluminum on the bottom there,
Yeah,
which
exactly.
you've gone higher than you need.
Mhm.
And then we're gonna have to change that so this is obviously in the right spot to pick up. So tomorrow I'm gonna go to the aluminum supply store, get some 6160 I think it is, which is the heavier, stiffer aluminum. I think that's what it's called. It's the stuff that doesn't like to bend. It's just a little bit more rigid, a little bit stronger, but we'll get some new aluminum. We can weld this up, reseal it. We're not gonna use GM Bond, we're gonna use Honda Bond, which it looks like the same stuff. Any of you guys use this stuff? If you guys are GM guys, tell us what this stuff is. So let us know what you guys use. I'm interested. We use Honda Bond. I think it's the best stuff in the world. You could glue bricks together with it. In fact, if I was building a house, I'd probably call Honda and see if they can send me a mass supply of Honda Bond. Anyway, guys, see you in the next video. This is the end of part 2. See you tomorrow. I'll see you on part 3. And don't forget, enjoy your oil pans.